Hey guys, before the intro, I just wanted to mention this might be a very controversial episode. We're going to be talking about scammers and fake gurus. And I just want to be very, very clear. These are just my opinions. If you or somebody you know does one or some of these things, it doesn't automatically mean that they're a scammer or fake guru. I'm just giving my opinions of what I think scammers and fake gurus typically do so that hopefully you guys can avoid being taken advantage by them and from them. But again, these are just my opinions. I'm not saying anybody specifically is a scammer or fake guru automatically, no matter what, if they do these things. Let's jump into the show.
Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 366. I'm Phil Graham. I've got a great episode for you guys today because we're going to be talking about 11 different ways to help spot Facebook ad and marketing scammers. So whether you are looking to avoid learning from a scammer or hiring a scammer, this episode could save your business. Marketing scammers, fake gurus, and their sheep are literally everywhere. And if you have not been in this business for a long time, and sometimes even if you have, it can be really hard to spot who the scammers are, who's legit, and who's not. And I'll tell you what, most people are not legit. There are some, but there's a very few, and it's really hard to tell sometimes. So whether you want to avoid wasting your time and money when you're learning about ads, or wasting your time and money with who you hire to run your ads, or even just making sure that you're not doing some of these things that put you in the category of a scammer, this episode is for you. I'm going to cover some huge red flags from agencies, individuals that run ads for others, as well as those who sell courses or even giveaway marketing training. By the way, free can have a very huge cost to it. You really got to be careful. So we're going to talk about all these red flags today that could really help or even save your business. Before we dive in, real quick, if you guys are looking for any one-on-one coaching to learn ads and help your business, I really believe that's the best way in the world to learn. If you're looking for that, or if you want somebody to run your ads for you, feel free to go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. I would love to connect with you. I also have a lot of show notes for each episode on my website as well. So philgrahamdigital.com, check it out. And let's dive right in, my friends. So I've got a quick little story. I'm going to keep this super short. 99.9999% of people that come to me are great people. Every once in a while, I'll get people that come to me for consulting that are one of these marketing scammers and fake gurus. It's crazy. Now, I don't take these idiots on as clients. I never have, and I never will. But when they come to me, they're looking for help because they're not making money. There was a specific situation where somebody came to me for help, and I looked at what they were doing, looked at their profiles, and guess what? What they were saying and doing was the opposite of reality. They literally had pictures and videos of them on vacations every 2 weeks. They were driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis that they said they owned, and just all the crap. I'm sure you've seen that kind of stuff everywhere. So in this situation, it was all completely fake. And what's scary is two things. Number one, there's tons of people out there that do that, and it is fake, whether it's completely fake or whether they're renting the stuff or whatever the case may be. But number two, the other scary thing is the amount of people that believe it, that are following them, that are liking their crap, and who think it's real. And they're taking advice from these people, and these people aren't making any money. That's scary. So I'm telling you this to make sure that you are very skeptical with what you see and what you hear out there, regardless of how big the name might be, because there are a lot of scammers out there. So I want to talk about the red flags that are most common. And you might have somebody that just has one or two of these red flags, or they might have a bunch of them. But for the most part, if they have any of these, then you probably want to go the other direction and avoid these people, whether you're learning from them or hiring them to run ads for you. Now, before I jump into the red flags, I do want to mention there could be an exception here and there. It's not impossible. I'm not saying that if you're doing one of these things, you're a scammer. There could be an exception, but for the most part, when you look at the odds, these are red flags where more often than not, it's probably a scammer. So keep that in mind. Red flag number one is overuse of social media. I'm talking about people that are on there all day, every day, practically nonstop. Now, this is a huge red flag because, like, for example, in my situation, I've got a business, I've got clients, I've got consulting clients, and I've got clients we run ads for. There's no way I have time to be on social media all day. I've got work to do. And anybody who's successful typically has clients and has stuff to do. It is not going to be posting on there all day, every day. Now, like I said, there could be exceptions here and there, and it depends on your definition of being on social media all day. I'm not talking about using it. I'm talking about the people that are literally on there all day, all the time. I would run the other way. I would not think at all that they're successful, and that's a huge red flag. The next red flag is about agencies or anybody that actually runs ads for you. This is very common. You'll find some of these where they say that you only pay if they get a result. So they'll run your ads for free. You only have to pay if they get a certain result for you. That is a huge red flag, my friends. The sad thing is, it sounds great to the business owner because there's no risk. It's like, oh, wow, I can have somebody run my ads and I don't have to pay unless they create a result. Perfect. That's great. Here's what you're missing, though. Why are they doing that? It's not because they're so great at ads in 99% of the time. It's not that. It's because they're desperate. And why are they desperate? For clients? Because they're not good at ads. So here's the thing. If they don't pay unless they get a result, why would they do that when they don't control the whole process? They don't own the business. They're not the ones selling on the other side of the ad or making the product or fulfilling or anything like that. So anybody who's really good, if they really wanted to have a business model like that, they would just own the business themselves because they control the whole process. These agencies that'll do this, it's because they're desperate and they can't get clients. The only way to get it is to beg for clients and do it for free. And that actually has a huge negative effect on most businesses because you think it's just free, but no, running bad ads not only can waste you time, it can waste you money that you could be making, and it also can damage your brand. There's a lot of negative things that can come from this. So these agencies will just get people to do this and just go through one and another over and over again, just go through hundreds or thousands of these people, hoping that every once in a while they might get a result. Every broken clock is still right twice a day. And so they just run through people like crazy. But again, it's because they're desperate and they're not good at ads in most cases. I'm sure there's a few exceptions, and I'm not saying that every company that operates this way is a scammer or not good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying be very careful and use your best judgment when you see this kind of stuff. The next red flag is, again, with anybody running ads for others or even teaching, I guess, is giving you a guarantee or an income claim or both. Guarantees and income claims. You cannot do that. You can guarantee that, you're going to provide a certain service or guarantee that you're going to do a certain amount of work. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about guaranteeing a specific result or guaranteeing or making a claim of how much somebody's going to make. Promising that. That is a scam. Don't ever do that yourself, and don't work with anybody who does that, because that is a clear red flag. The next one is back to social media, narcissistic posts that are all about them and not you. And, not just like the cars, which many times are fake, but they talk about how great they are and all this stuff. It's all about them. It's nothing about you or very little about you. That is another big red flag. You know what's a lot better than that is actually value, education, teaching somebody, helping somebody, kind of like this podcast. I don't have time to sit there and post all the time on social media, but I have put out a weekly episode on this podcast for over 7 years now, every single week. And it's not narcissistic. I'm teaching you guys every single week. So a huge red flag from a lot of these scammers is whatever they put out, whether it's audio, video, or text, whatever it is, whatever they post, it is all about them and it's narcissistic. That's probably going to be somebody you don't want to work with. The next red flag is about somebody who teaches ad stuff, whether they sell a course or they teach you one-on-one, or they even just have a YouTube channel about how to run ads and how to do marketing. And it's about people who teach this stuff, but they don't actually do it as a business themselves. They don't actually have clients. All they do is teach you how to do it, but they have no clients. That's kind of like a fat doctor trying to teach you how to lose weight. That doesn't really work very well. Is it impossible? No, but most of the time, it's not going to turn out too well. In my situation, yes, I teach, but guess what? I also have clients. I do this every day in my life. I have clients. You don't want to learn from somebody who doesn't actually have clients, who's not running ads for others, who's not serious. There are so many people who are doing it just as a side hustle, or they're not having clients and they're just trying to just put information out there to try and fake it until they make it and play crash test dummy with your brand. That can really hurt you. So I wouldn't trust anybody who teaches this stuff that doesn't actually run a business and have clients while doing it. The next red flag is about an agency or somebody running your ads for you. A lot of times they're hesitant to like get on a Zoom call with you, especially before you sign up or before you pay. Or if they do get on a call, it's very structured and they're not really willing to go outside of that structure. When you get somebody on Zoom, you should be able to ask them any question. Ask them about CPMs, ask them, all kinds of different things, because you can find out if somebody is legit or not pretty quickly just by asking some questions. And many times somebody who's not legit won't even take the chance of getting on there with you. Sometimes there are people that know how to fake it pretty good, but the legit people will absolutely get on Zoom and not only answer any of your questions, but show you things, explain things, and it'll be pretty clear who's legit and who's not in that kind of situation. The next red flag is with learning, and a lot of this is with courses. But I see a lot of the courses and trainings that are out there are more focused on the group or community aspect as like the main thing. There's a lot of problems with that. Number one, I've seen so many situations. I've had lots of people come to me after being in those groups and experiencing them, and they're not learning what they need to learn. So much of the time when it's a group program or it's just more of a community focused program, it becomes the blind leading the blind most of the time. And you're not necessarily learning from the so-called expert who set it all up. You're learning from others who are your peers who are there because they don't know enough and they need to learn too. But that's who you're learning from. That doesn't really work too well. So I am not against communities and stuff, but when it's set up as a primary focus, that is not the way to learn. When you're learning, you should be learning from the expert. And so many of these courses and trainings out there are set up in the wrong way. And it is having a huge negative effect for those people who waste their time and money on that stuff. Another red flag with learning, courses, trainings, stuff like that is many times there's an army of sheep that are promoting it, saying how great it is. Trust me, you got to be super careful because many times They're either doing it for an affiliate commission and or they can even get paid under the table by the scammer that's having them do it. But it looks really good because they're all over social media posting about it everywhere. Be very skeptical. That is very, very common in many of these scammers and how they do things. Watch out for that. And real quickly, we'll cover the last 3 red flags. The next one is scammers who really promise templates or unicorn magic funnels that will just do it all for you and it just magically will work. That's BS. I've got so much data. I could have a dentist in one city where we're running ads and it's crushing it. And I could use the exact same ad copy for a dentist in a different city or state, and it doesn't do well. Templates are not good. Now, templates can be good for starting you off, and then you put different information in there and make it your own. But a lot of people don't market it that way. They market saying, hey, just use this template, just use this funnel, and they guarantee you're going to have a result. That's BS. I would run the other way. Huge red flag of most scammers. The next red flag is just, it's obvious. It's the get rich quick idiots who claim that you can make all kinds of money. I remember seeing an ad once from some idiot that said that you could work 20 minutes a day from anywhere and make like whatever they were claiming, 10 or 20 grand a month, blah, blah, blah. Absolute scammers. Do not listen to these idiots. That's not how it works. They are scammers. Run the other way. And last but not least, the final red flag. And there's a lot more red flags. These are just some of the common ones. There's more than this. But hey, I want to keep this not too long of an episode. So the last red flag for today is the people and the scammers who not only claim success or claim a result, but they claim it in a certain amount of time. You'll see this a lot. Use our system and you'll get 10,000 leads by next Tuesday, or you'll make X number of dollars by next month, or whatever the case may be. Not only promising a result, which you shouldn't do, but also promising it by a certain amount of time, which is a double negative, like huge red flags. So my friends, these red flags are so common amongst scammers. And again, just like I said in the beginning, if you do these things, I'm not saying you're automatically a scammer. It's just my opinion, but I'm telling you guys to be very careful. I hope you're not doing these things, and I hope you're avoiding anybody who does. Episode 366 is in the books. I've got a great episode for you guys next week. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I will talk to you on next week's episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.